What's good, YouTube? It's your main man AB the Hero back again with another video, and in today's video is a preview of tonight's game. Charlotte Hornets taking on the Toronto Raptors in the final game of the 2021 NBA Summer League season for the Hornets. This is an important one. Do or die, make or break from my dog LiAngelo. We're gonna break all of that down. Let's get into the video.
With my dude, AB the Hero. Well, we getting it down in the Ball State, baby.
Hey. AB, way to get out on the lane. How you get out on the lane?
What do you thought about that, Jay?
I like that. Yeah, I told you, he's a hustle for it.
Let's go. I'm out.
Alright, first things first, appreciate y'all subbing to the channel, hitting the notification bell, liking the video, because I know that a few of y'all, before the intro was done, y'all already hit the thumbs up, so shout out to y'all for doing that. As you know, the channel has been growing and growing and growing as of late. We're at the 13,000 sub mark. We're trying to get to 15K. Could we get to 15K? If you're watching the videos and you ain't subbed yet, do the right thing, like Spike Lee. Alright, now, Summer League is coming to an end. We've seen LiAngelo Ball shine. A lot of people feel like he's done enough. You hooped. You have solidified your spot in the NBA. Maybe not on this Hornets roster for sure, but you definitely have a spot in the NBA, 1000% guaranteed a spot, at least in the G League, and going into tonight's game. Now, in this preview, obviously we want to talk about the game, but what I also want to do is set the table of what to expect. Because as I said, there's such a different perception of where LiAngelo is in the moment, right? Either you 100% in, you solidified yourself, or bruh, this is do or die. This is make or break. If you don't show up and show out tonight, it could get crazy for you. The questions start getting asked. Now, I've heard also rumors that like, yo, it's a foregone conclusion. He was in there, all he had to do is not just fumble the bag, and he obviously did not fumble the bag. He actually scored a few touchdowns with that bad boy. So some people look at it that way. I'll kind of explain where I see it at, but before we get there, let's get into tonight's game. Now, tonight's game, back to a regular scheduled program at some decent hours, 7 p.m. tonight, Saturday evening. You'll be able to watch this game on the NBA Summer League. It's kind of a big deal, a great game here. Now, let's see. If you look at the rosters for the teams today, we are back to more of an even keel roster, right? You got the rookies and first year guys from the Hornets playing in tonight's game. You also got a lot of rookies and first year guys from the Toronto Raptors. Obviously Scotty Barnes, their first round pick, is somebody to look out for. To me, one of the best dudes and most underrated guys on this this Raptors team is Malachi Flynn. Malachi Flynn had some good games last year going head to head with LaMelo, and I was impressed with him then. So as the Summer League is going on, he has continued to impress. Obviously, when we start to look at this Hornets roster, we want to keep seeing JT Thor kind of improve and get acclimated into the situation, because the sky's the limit for him. Kai Jones has been hooping. The Vernon Carey's and Nick Richards, you know what they gonna do. Look at Kentucky, dude. Blue, you know what I'm saying? Blue bloods right there. So they just need some time to kind of slide into there. Grant Riller has been exciting and being able to facilitate. College of Charleston, where is that at? Anybody know where that's at? And obviously James Bouknight. Now, James Bouknight is one of those cats who, this is a big game for him, right? More so than anybody else, right? Because I think that like the Vernon Carey's and Nick Richards and all, they've got a place to find, right? Kai Jones, to me, is somebody who's going to play, but he's going to be a get in where you fit in guy, right? All we want from you to do is we want some energy, right? I think that you think of Kai Jones maybe getting minutes this year, like in the same vein as you seen the Caleb twins, the Martin twins, right? spotty minutes here and there, but we need some energy. You're going to get in here, and this is what you're supposed to do. I think that he'll probably even do a better version of what they were doing, but that's where I see them. James Bouknight, this matters because this is like, are you the sixth man? Are you our backup point guard? Are you the guy we count on to give spells to LaMelo and be able to play with Terry Rozier, or do you need some more development? Last game, he showed that he was stepping into that role. He started facilitating in that second half of the game and started looking like, yo, you could be somebody we could bring in not only when we just need some points, but when we want to run some offense through you, right? Have you facilitate, have you hit the spot up shooters and all that stuff. Now, when we go to LiAngelo, to me, LiAngelo is in one or two situations. He's either in that similar situation where he needs to prove and solidify the fact that the situations that we as a coaching staff want to put you in, you can handle. What we've seen from them so far in this summer league is we want you to be a spot up shooter. We trust the shot. We're going to run you off screens, run plays for you, knock them down. Great. We want you to duck off into the corner, sprint down there, get ahead, because we know the pace in which this Hornets team plays is going to be fast. Can you get out there and run and then knock down threes? Now the question is, have they seen enough? Do we already know you can do that? Because here's the thing that we're talking about this on this live stream live, and this is what I meant to do. I meant to say this. Shout out to everybody who was on the live stream last night. We had Ball Facts on there. We had my guy Enjoy on there for a long time. The Pope, FYF Sports Debate hopped on, a lot of that stuff. But shout out to Ball Facts and Enjoy, because at some point my mic, the battery on my mic died, and I was in there in the Matrix, and they basically held down the stream for me for about 15-20 minutes while I situated my microphones and all that stuff. I don't think it was that long, but still, shout out to them. But let's go back here. LiAngelo is in the spot where either from the first couple games, he's proven like, yo, you're a shooter. We don't need to see anything else from you. And I think that if that's the case, when we go into this next game, what you'll see from him is extremely spotty minutes, right? Come in, maybe play a decent amount in the first half, and then in the second half, we're going to let these young bulls fight it out. Because these other dudes, we need to figure out what we're doing with them. We already know what you're going to do, LiAngelo. You're straight. Now, if we see that, like you seen in the last game, and I know folks was like, but they icing him. That might have been a good thing that he didn't play a ton in that last game. You see that again, that's what I'm leaning towards, right? Especially when you've seen, if he seems hot in the first half, and then instead of feeding that flame, they say, you know what, bro, let's chill, right? Now, that's a good sign. Also, another good sign to me would be if down the stretch in the game, he was still playing, but you could see that it was a concerted effort to allow him and Bouknight to vibe with each other, right? That's the one thing I've been looking for a ton is, are we starting to see Jello and Bouknight situations where it's like, we know Bouknight is going to play in that second unit, but we want to see if you can play with him in that second unit. If we start to see that a lot, then it's up and it's stuck. Now, third situation is if we see Jello playing a lot down the stretch and you see the Kai Jones is out, the Bouknight's out, and some of the other guys, that's a bad sign. Because that's like, yo, we already know what we're going to do with these dudes now. We're going to let y'all figure it out, and now you're auditioning not for us, but for other teams. Right? Go out and show what you can do and show other teams that you can do that. So if you start to see Jello going off in the second half and it's like, yo, it's the Jello ball show, it might be exciting for us to watch, but that might be not a great sign as far as in the Hornets organization. Now, if he going off, it's going to be a great sign for other teams watching, like, yo, we want a shooter, we want to score, we want somebody going to play defense, we want somebody going to run on the break. Those folks will be excited to see that. But so that's that situation. Now, obviously, if you don't see him play many minutes at all, I mean, that one will be hard to decipher, right? Because that could be anything along that spectrum. That could be, we've seen enough, you ain't even got to play, bro, chill out. That could be, we've seen enough, we don't even need you to play, chill out. And you know what I mean? That could mean Like, we really need to see these other guys, and that's more important to us in the moment. So I think that's where you can expect, and that's what you should be looking for as you approach this game from the standpoint of all the players on the team. Thank you so much for, you know, saying bless you and all that stuff. I know y'all did. Now, getting back to tonight's game, we look at this pretty evenly matched teams. For the most part, you look at total points on the average, 87 for the Hornets, 88 for the Raptors. I mean, that's, you know, I mean, that's a point difference. Now, inside is a big deal. That's 10 plus more rebounds. That's a big. This will be interesting to see, because to me, I think that this Hornets Summer League team was built to get boards, built to dominate the rebounds with a lot of these tall cats, the Kai Jones, the Nick Richards, the Vernon Carries. They should be dominating inside. So it's kind of sad to see that they're not doing it currently. Also with the facilitation, we've seen that pick up in the last game. 24 assists from those Hornets, 15 of them from Grant Riller and James Bouknight. So hopefully we see that number begin to be more consistent at that 20 plus level. I heard Coach Dutch, I for some reason I cannot think of, or Dutch Nasty, I want to call him Dutch Nasty so bad, but Coach Dutch say, like, yo, on the regular team, the Hornets team in the season, they want like 26 plus assists. So this team, they were shooting for about 20, and they hit the 24 mark, and they didn't come out with a W, but they were excited about hitting that mark. So that's a plus to those guys. I think here, man, you look at this, and here's Malachi Flynn, right? He's a scorer. He's a guy who can play basketball from a small school, but is a hooper. Not small school. I guess San Diego State is not a small school, but it's still a hooper's hooper. You feel me? So shout out to him. Now, let me see what else I got lined up for y'all here. We get this NBA board, y'all. There you go. Look at these Hornets team, 0-3 right now into the Summer League. This is tough because you would want a team obviously to win, right? But for some teams, it's more important to get W's in the Summer League, so then they end up stacking the roster. You look at that Portland Trailblazers team from earlier, stack the roster. You look at some of these teams who end up playing not their older like / veteran players, but year 1, year 2 players. The more you have of year 1, year 2 players, the better oftentimes your team is in these situations. So this Hornets team, a lot of rookies, a lot of guys who are there trying to get up to speed, and so the L, while it does suck, is not a end-all be-all for these situations. Now, I want to wrap up this video here and say, overall, I believe that the Summer League has been a great experience for your boy Jello. I think it's something that the culture needed. The culture definitely needed this because we hadn't seen Jello play in a long time, and a lot of folks were really in that bag of like, yo, but Kenny, who we ain't seen him playing 30. And I've been saying this, yo, my dog could put the ball in the basket. But outside of that, because most people nowadays act like, well, we knew he could score. It was the other stuff. People didn't know he could score on the NBA level. People thought that he might have been too slow. The shot went over. All of these different things. The percentages, all of that. People didn't know that. They act like they did, but they don't. But the best thing to me is that we've seen that he can actually also play defense on this level. He can actually also facilitate on this level. And so that, coupled with the fact that I can knock down a shot if I'm open with a hand in my face, it don't even matter, is what has solidified his spot in a NBA franchise's organization. Now, that might not be on the roster right away. That might be a G League stint. But either way, he's solidified at this point, and that's worthy of applause and shouts out to the culture. It's your main man, AB the Hero. We finna get out of here.
No, not peace. +1, triple B's. We out.
There it is.